Every day, in every city, millions of people wait for someone else to change their life. They wait for luck, for a helping hand, or for a miracle. But most of them will wait forever. Why? Because they never ask themselves one simple question. What can I give before I take? Listen to this story carefully. It might just change the way you see everything. At a busy railway station in a large city, a poor beggar sat on the same platform every day. From early morning until late night, he stretched out his hand. His clothes were torn. His face was tired. Most people walked past him like he was part of the furniture. A few kind souls dropped a coin or two, just enough for him to buy a meal and survive another day. He believed life had been cruel to him. He believed he was born to suffer and would die poor. That was his truth. He never questioned it. Then one evening, a wealthy businessman walked through the station. He was well-dressed, calm, and walked with purpose. The beggar saw him and thought, "This is my chance." He stretched out his trembling hand and said, "Please, sir, a few coins, God bless you." The businessman stopped. But instead of reaching for his wallet, he looked directly into the beggar's eyes and asked, "If I give you money, what will you give me in return?" The beggar was confused. No one had ever asked him that. He laughed bitterly and said, "Sir, if I had something to give, why would I be begging here?" The businessman smiled, not a cruel smile, but a kind one. "Then tell me," he said, "why should anyone keep giving you money if they receive nothing back? What value can you offer?" Then he walked away. The beggar sat frozen. That question hit him like a train he never saw coming. For hours, he couldn't stop thinking. What value can I offer? He had spent years asking for things. He had never once asked himself what he could give. That night, he didn't stop thinking. He kept staring at the dark ceiling of the empty station hallway where he slept. And then, something shifted inside him. Not a big change, just a tiny crack in the wall of his old thinking. The next morning, he did something strange. Instead of just sitting with his hand out, he started looking around. He noticed small stones lying near the railway tracks, smooth, flat, and white. He collected a handful. He found a piece of charcoal from a trash bin and some leftover paint from a wall repair corner. Then he sat down and started drawing. Simple things, a smiley face, a small sun, a heart. And on some stones, he wrote words, "Thank you, good luck, stay happy." When someone gave him a coin, he didn't just nod and look down. He looked up, smiled, and handed them one of his decorated stones. "This is for you," he said. "Thank you for your kindness." People were shocked. A beggar giving something back? That had never happened before. Some laughed. Some smiled. Some kept the stones as little souvenirs. One woman put it in her purse and said, "I'm going to keep this. It made my day." He wasn't just asking anymore. He was creating. And people respect creators far more than they respect beggars. Slowly, his coins turned into notes. His one meal a day turned into two. He bought better colors. He learned to make small keychains from waste cloth. He started making little birds and flowers. His hands, once only stretched out for help, were now busy making things of beauty. He didn't become rich overnight. That's not how real change works, but every day he earned a little more. Every day his confidence grew. Every day he felt less like a victim and more like a maker. After 6 months, he rented a small cart near the station entrance. He sold his painted stones, keychains, and small gifts. He called it Smile Stones. People bought them not because they felt sorry for him, but because the items were charming and cheap. A businessman bought 20 stones to give to his team as motivational gifts. A school teacher ordered 30 for her students. 1 year later, he opened a tiny shop across the street from the station. It was no bigger than a closet, but it was his. He had a sign, he had a chair, he had a cash box that wasn't empty at the end of the day. 3 years later, that tiny shop had grown into a successful gift store. He employed 2 young boys from the street, teaching them how to paint and design. He no longer looked tired. He looked proud. Not arrogant, but proud of what he had built from nothing but stones and an idea. Then one afternoon, a familiar face walked into his store. The wealthy businessman. He was passing through the station again and had heard about the shop. He looked around at the colorful stones, the smiling faces painted on them, the little cards that said, "Keep going." The former beggar walked up to him and said, "Sir, do you remember me?" The businessman studied his face for a moment. Then his eyes widened. The beggar from the platform. The man smiled. Yes, you didn't give me money that day. You gave me a question that changed my life. He paused. You asked me what I could give. That night, I realized I had been asking the wrong question my whole life. I kept asking, what can I get? But you taught me to ask, what can I give? The businessman placed a hand on his shoulder. I didn't teach you anything, he said softly. You taught yourself. I just asked the question. They shook hands. No money exchanged, no begging, just two men respecting each other. What does this story teach us? First, value is never about what you have. It's about what you create. The beggar had nothing but stones and trash, but he turned them into joy. You don't need money to start. You need a willing mind. Second, people don't want to give to those who only take. They want to support those who try. The moment he started giving something back, the world treated him differently. That's not luck. That's a law of human nature. And finally, the biggest prison is not poverty. It's the belief that you have nothing to offer. As long as you see yourself as a victim, you will remain one. But the moment you ask, what can I give? Your whole world shifts. So here's my question to you. What are you waiting for? What small stone can you pick up today? What tiny thing can you create, share, or offer that adds value to someone else? You don't need a business loan. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to stop begging for change and start making it. If this story moved you, share it with someone who feels stuck, because sometimes one question is all